Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and as countless famous elites in the film industry, television, music, sports, advertising, and politics get exposed left and right for sexual harassment, the zombified corpse many of you may know as former President George H.W. Bush is now being exposed by 5 women so far, claiming he groped them. The globalist cult member president has seen countless accusations this past week. The first being actress Heather Lind of the AMC hit turned Washington Spies, which by the way is one of the few decent shows on television. Lind claimed in a now deleted Instagram post that the grimy old demon grabbed her butt during a photo at a promotional event for her show. According to Lind, seeing the freak of nature on television during the recent Relief concert, which included several criminals including Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, Bush Jr., and Obama, was enough to remind her of the traumatic experience. Lind said she was disturbed by a photo of Bush shaking Obama's hand. As she said, "He sexually assaulted me while I was posing for a similar photo. He didn't shake my hand. He touched me from behind from his wheelchair with his wife Barbara Bush by his side. He told me a dirty joke, and then all the while being photographed touched me again," she added. She also noted Barbara Bush stood by and rolled her eyes as to say, "Not again." Bush's representatives released this statement. President Bush would never, under any circumstance, intentionally cause anyone distress, and he most sincerely apologizes if his attempt at humor offended Ms. Lind. New York actress Jordana Grolnik met Bush in Maine, where, as she says, he came backstage to take a picture with a group of girls and he was in a wheelchair, and he reached his hand around and said to the group, "Do you know who my favorite magician is?" And we all said, "No, who?" And he said, "David Copperfield," and at that moment I felt him grab my behind. Bush's representative again released a statement saying, "To try to put people at ease, the president routinely tells the same joke, and on occasion he has patted women's rears in what he intended to be a good-natured manner," Wednesday's statement read. Some have seen it as innocent, others clearly view it as inappropriate. To anyone he has offended, President Bush apologizes most sincerely. His defenders, including his representatives, claim he's been wheelchair-bound for about 5 years and has lost his ability to judge situations properly, as he has a form of Parkinson's disease and can only reach waist-high. Well, throw out that excuse, because another woman has come forward. A Republican Maine Senate ex-candidate, Amanda Staples, says in 2006, when Bush wasn't completely brain-dead from the demons that have consumed him after a lifetime of evil deeds, she visited the president at Walker's Point at the Bush family compound when, during a photo op, Bush grabbed her and said, "I'm not that president," of course implying he's not rapist Bill Clinton. Author Christina Baker Klein also came out against the drooling ghoul, saying he pulled the Copperfield so-called joke on her as well, while her husband was standing right next to her. Bush's driver allegedly told Klein, and I quote, "I do trust you will be discreet." Former Erie Times News editorial page editor Liz Allen claims Bush grabbed her in 2004 as well, once again proving it wasn't his Parkinson's, his dementia, or any of these other absurd excuses. Liz Allen said in an interview that she was not traumatized by the 2004 incident in Erie, and at the time, she didn't feel the need to speak up about it. "But I didn't like it," Allen said. "It did not rise to the level of assault, but it was in my personal space." Well, clearly, it was an absolute infringement of the non-aggression principle, to do as you please as long as you're not hurting anyone but in the defense of life, liberty, and property. Let's not forget the allegations against Bush during the Franklin cover-up in the 1980s and early 90s regarding a massive pedophile ring and countless young boys and girls coming out against George H.W. Bush. While many of us can find some joy in the fact that this evil piece of trash is being exposed at the end of his terrible life, it should be mentioned that this shouldn't surprise anyone. Bush was the director of the CIA, one of the most nefarious organizations on the planet. He hung out at Bohemian Grove, and many of us know what happened there. He's skull and bones. His enemies have in many cases mysteriously disappeared in the past decades. He was vice president, and many have alleged he was involved in the attempted assassination of President Reagan. He was president and pushed countless times for
a new world order,
which has become a standard by globalists on either side of the spectrum for the past 2.5 decades since.
A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
In a just world, the man would be brought to justice and spend the end of his disgusting life in a cell, but that's not going to happen. Instead, watch as more people come out against him. The fact is, everyone from the pedophiles in Hollywood to the abusers in all forms of elite industry are being exposed, and we just have to keep pushing towards further truths being brought to the light. These people have believed for more than a century that they could get away with anything. Rape, murder, theft, that anything they do will be quickly guised by their power. Well, no more. We live in a world where we revere being ruled by criminals and being lassoed into massive coercive collectives for the so-called greater good of the greater number. But moreover, we're in a battle between good and evil today, and the more people speak, the more will be exposed. The more chains will break. We must focus on the negatives to bring about positives. We have to protect our women. We have to protect our children as well. There's nothing more evil than robbing children of their innocence. It's pure evil. We also can't turn a blind eye on the fact that there are men being abused as well. This is power and evil versus humanity, and we must stand as individuals and shoo these snakes out of the den. We hope you support Corey Feldman in his campaign to publish a documentary exposing pedophiles in Hollywood, because this is a domino fall and it will affect those in political power as well. Feldman's life is at risk, and pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, friend of Bill Clinton's, is only the tip of the iceberg. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay tuned for more from Wham! Thanks for watching, everyone. Check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized by the Anti-Defamation League on YouTube, as they flag all of our content as hate speech. You can also find our Bitcoin address in the description in the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. You can also find me at @JoshSigurdson at Steemit.com. That's Steemit.com, the future of social media, as the dinosaur social media digs its own grave. You get paid in cryptocurrency, Steem that is, on Steemit.com via the upvote of your posts, so I hope to see you there. But until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.